Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Monica Murphy. I'm so excited that you're here and you're going to be part of my very first Q&A over on YouTube. If you are not already following me on Instagram, I will drop my handle here. That is where I first started posting on social media. I've been there for about 2.5 years now, and I've been able to build a full-time business over there and a really great community of women. If you are just looking to gain some confidence, I talk a lot about body positivity over there, breastfeeding tips, beauty tips, makeup, motherhood, all the good stuff. So if that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, you can head on over there, give me a follow. If you want to shoot me a DM, let me know that you are here from YouTube. I would love that. And yeah, let's not waste any more time. I want you guys to get to know me better. So what better way than a good old Q&A? I asked y'all on Instagram, ask me anything. I did let you guys know that this would be on YouTube, so let's just answer some juicy questions. I hope there's some juicy ones. I've got my phone charging here. We're at 17%, and I'm all dressed up because my husband's taking me on a date today. I'm so excited. So I'm just waiting for him to get home, and I thought, let's do a Q&A. So let's dive right into it. Make sure we're right at the top so I don't miss anything. Okay, and again, if some of these are really focused around breastfeeding, co-sleeping, body positivity, it is because that is what I talk most about over on Instagram, and that is what that family there is really interested in getting to know. So these are where some of these questions are coming from. With co-sleeping and feeding, does your baby feed only on one side? That's a funny question because I think this is coming up because I have spoke in the past that Rhys especially favored my left side. And that started, I think, when he was around 18 months. He completely stopped nursing on my right side and would actually bite that nipple if I tried to give it to him. I'm guessing just the flow might have been faster, maybe his head, or it was just more comfortable over on that side. It's like, you know, when you have a favorite drink, you want that one instead of the other one. I mean, I'm sure they both taste the same, but you know what I mean? Just like, I don't know what it is, but recently, just for my luck, Linnea has also favored my left side. So we're quite milk heavy on one, and I don't even know if there's anything left on this one. Rhys will, now that he's a little bit older, nurse on my left side if Linnea's on my right and he wants to get in on that, because I do tandem breastfeed. I talk about that over on Instagram as well, but yeah, he will now nurse on the left. It's just not his preferred side. So I hope that answers your question. Moving on. What wrap do you use? I am assuming that Esther Marie Lordio. Sorry if I pronounce that wrong. I'm guessing you're referring to which baby carrier that I use. And I was actually thinking of doing a baby carrier YouTube video just to show you guys, because I have had a lot of companies reach out and send me their wraps. And I personally have just been using one brand for a very, very long time. And you'll probably see me in it in a lot of my reels, in a lot of my makeup tutorials, because it is the only way I'm able to get things done. But I use Beluga baby wraps, and there is two different types. There is a cloth, old-fashioned wrapper up, and then there is the buckle, which is a little bit more heavy duty, hikes, and then when your baby gets to get a little bit more heavier. So that is just the brand that I love. It isn't all about the looks. They are beautiful. They have tons of different prints, but I know I've tried other brands that are just so beautiful that you want to buy them, and they're also really expensive, and then they're just not as functional. For me, I go for comfort, especially when I am wearing a baby 24/7. It's hard on your back. So I use Beluga Baby, and I will drop a discount code in the description if you want to check them out and save some coins. Moving on. How do you get housework done with a baby? I have a 2-year-old and a newborn, and I'm struggling. Okay, Miss Anna Springbok. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong. Do you guys want to tour my house right now? Actually, I took some pictures this morning. That's so random. I did take some pictures this morning because I was just feeling overwhelmed and I wanted to send them to my husband. That's a little old Rhys's room. We got clothes everywhere in my bedroom. This is current. It's so funny that I have a picture. Linnea's room, just like diapers everywhere. Like, this is my front entrance right behind me. The answer is I don't keep my house clean 24/7. And yes, I work from home, but don't get that confused with having a spotless house and dinners being made for when my husband gets home from work. It is not like that in the slightest. Being a mom is a full-time job anyways, and just keeping your kids alive, like, you need to give yourself some grace, okay? And secondly, I am running a business. And so the best thing I ever did is hired help. And obviously I had to get to a point to be able to afford that. And once I was able to hire help to either watch my kids or help me with some housework, it really helped me with finding balance in my business, where I wasn't just scrambling 24/7. I was able to set work hours and really focus on work. And then when that hired help was maybe done watching my babies, it was like, okay, back to mom time, back to cleaning, back to hanging out with my kids. And so that was the best thing that I ever did. I know that everyone is not in the position to be able to hire help. I know for me, it was just letting go of feeling like I had to be perfect, my house had to be perfect. And, you know, it was just a little bit of an adjustment period. And me, myself as well, I love just like having a clean space, especially because I work from home. I feel like if I'm cluttered around me, I just have a cluttered brain and I'm not able to get much done. But that's just like my workspace. And I really just like prioritize. So I hope that answers your question. I do not have a spotless house, okay? You're in the same boat as tons of other mamas. Just know that as well. Okay, moving on. What time do you and your babies normally sleep at? And I love that question because you said you and your babies. These people over here know that I am a co-sleeping mama, and I will preach it forever because it is just what works for me. I am done hiding like I was at the beginning. My co-sleeping, I thought I was doing something wrong when I went to the doctors and they were asking me like how my baby was sleeping, and it was just, I felt like I had to lie about doing what felt right for me and my family. So I am done hiding. I talk about it all the time over on my Instagram, but I go sleep and I breastfeed my babies to sleep. I'm still breastfeeding my 2.5-year-old. I'm breastfeeding my 9-month-old, and I'm the one putting them to bed. And most times I go to bed with them just because I'm tired as hell. To be honest, sometimes, you know, I'll be able to sneak out and prep a lunch the next day or fold some laundry or sit with my husband on the couch for half an hour, but I'm just bagged at the end of the day. So usually we have a bath, again, all of us, around 7:30. Now that it's getting more beautiful outside and the sun is out longer, every single night we have a cul-de-sac party in our cul-de-sac, and so the kids are staying out later. Rhys loves it. If the kids are out till 8, I don't have a set bedtime, and that's another thing that just works for me in my motherhood journey. I am not, I would say, like a scheduled mama. I go with the flow, and it's really allowed me to just like continue doing the things that I want to do, and my baby's just adapting to whatever we're doing. They sleep when they're tired, they eat when they're hungry. I'm not like a, you know, timed type person, and again, this is just what works for me. So I'd say like the average day, we have a bath around 7:30, we're in the bed by 8, and the babies are sleeping by 8:30, and I'm usually snoring by 9. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Do you feel like co-sleeping ruins your intimacy with your partner? First time mama over here, help. So this is a very hot question, actually. Every time I do a Q&A, this question comes up, and I actually did a reel on it because I just think it's a fair question, okay? People sleep in the bed, people do other things in the bed, but that's not the only place to do other things, if you know what I mean. Also, I don't find it ruins my intimacy at all. If anything, I actually find like it spices things up because you get out of your everyday routine of what you might have already done for a long time, and you're finding other places to do things, other times to do things. Again, there's not only one place and time where people get intimate with their husbands, and I know like a lot of people just think it's like in the evening in the bed. Why does it have to be like that? That's just my answer to that. And there's, oh gosh, there's another. Someone once commented on, I think it was on that reel, and they said, never trust a co-sleeping family's couch. No comment. Moving on. How do you nurse your 2 babies lying down? I'm sorry, this is all about my boobs and co-sleeping. That is just what these people are interested in. But how do I nurse lying down with 2 babies? That is a good question because it is my definite preferred position for breastfeeding 2 babies. And the best way to explain it is I will side lie with a pillow between my legs, a pillow behind my back, a pillow on my head, and I will breastfeed Linnea. So she's the 9-month-old baby. And then I'm kind of like on my side. I also have a pillow behind my back. So point of the story, pillows. Pillows is how I do it. Literally pillows all around me just for side feeding 2 babies. And so I'm kind of like on my side, but kind of on my back at the same time. And Rhys will just be like on that pillow that is on my back. And he's like over top of me on this boob. I don't know if that was a good enough visual, if that makes sense, but that is how I side lie breastfeeding 2 babies. Let's see. What lashes are you currently using? I actually just put these on today, but they're gonna last me 7 to 10 days. I'll get a little bit closer so you can see. These are the Method Lash, and let me just pull them out here. My girlfriend got me on this system, and I am obsessed because it is a do-it-yourself at-home lash extension kit. So they come in the little individual, not individual, like little bundle things. They're all different sizes. If you like a more dramatic look or a more natural look, I'd say these are like right in the middle of this pair. And it comes with glue, the tweezers. I apply them under my lash. If you want a full tutorial, I have that over on my Instagram in the highlight bubble called Lashes. But yeah, they're called Method Lash. I do have a discount code if you want to give them a try. I love them. They last 7 to 10 days, and yeah, saving some time and some money on lash extensions. Okay, I need some water. This is fun. Like, this is fun. I like a Q&A. So how has it been balancing 2 babies? My biggest fear is Rhett would feel less loved. That's so sad. Honestly, true and honest opinion, for me, there was a bigger shock from going from 0 babies to 1 than 1 to 2. And a lot of that I think came from me having a C-section, first of all, like my labor, my C-section with my son, and my breastfeeding journey with my son. And everything about those 3 things was a total shock, a total struggle, not how I was gonna expect it to happen. And so I started my motherhood journey like in a struggle and in a place of not feeling comfortable and really not knowing what the hell I was doing. Now, the second time around, I had already been still breastfeeding my son, and so breastfeeding was so much easier the second time around. And I want to say it was a breeze, but it's never a breeze. But I knew what I was doing. My baby knew what she was doing. I just felt more comfortable all around breastfeeding. And again, that was just something that was so taunting for me in my first, with my first baby. I just didn't feel comfortable breastfeeding in public. I didn't know positions. I didn't know to trust my instincts. And I felt like he wasn't getting enough milk. And like that whole part of it, I didn't experience a second time. So also with sleeping, that was another thing I struggled with at the beginning, and it is another reason why I'm such a co-sleeping advocate is I did not sleep. I remember hallucinating when I was probably like a week postpartum because I had not slept. My brain would not let itself shut off unless my baby was next to me. And I remember like being in the bed and my husband was sleeping with Rhys, like he was on him, and I had to like be laying on the bed like touching my baby and my husband, and then my brain would shut off. And it was like, okay, everyone's safe together, you can sleep. So again, the second time around with Linnea, I knew kind of how to co-sleep. I had never done it at that, you know, young of an age, but we made it work and I was able to sleep better the second time around. My C-section healed better the second time around. I knew what to expect. And I know that wasn't the point of your question. It was talking about your other child and them feeling like less loved. And honestly, I was so scared of that with Rhys too. I remember getting ready that morning to leave him for 2 nights. I had never left him before for my C-section, and I woke up and I had a quick shower and I just saw his fingers underneath the door of the bathroom just like this. I bawled. I was like, I like let him in and we just like cuddled, and I was like, just told him how much I love him and that the baby's coming today and he's gonna get to meet the baby that we talked about all the time in my belly. And so yeah, I don't think he felt any less loved. I think he was confused why we left for 2 days, but when the baby came back, it all just like felt right, I think, for everybody. So I know that's a big fear for everyone, and you're like, how could I ever love a second baby as much as I love this one? You just do. You just do. There's no explanation of how your heart can grow bigger, but it just does. So you're gonna do great, and your baby just is gonna love you and your baby that you're having. So don't worry about that, but I know every mom does. What's your hair care routine? Oh goodness. Well, that's a funny question because lately I have been dyeing my hair pink. If you have not watched my other YouTube video, I dyed my hair pink at the beginning of May. I got it professionally done. I loved it, and then it faded really, really quickly. So before I went on my trip last week, I decided to do it myself. And again, it was very, very bright. And I would say right now, how it is looking right now is my favorite. Like, I love the like muted pink, blonde, light moment. So my routine is I probably only wash it once or twice a week. I have a color, what's it called? Color saving shampoo and conditioner. Is that what we say? I don't even know. It's just color saving shampoo and conditioner. I don't know. I feel like so dumb with this because I don't really have a hair care routine. I mean, when I feel like my hair is getting dry, I will put some oil in it. But the only thing that I've done different with my hair is become postpartum and breastfeed. And it's weird because I feel like that is where for a lot of people their hair like falls out. But for me, it just grows. Like, these are my sideburns and my hair is just like on a grow streak, and I will take it because it's never been this healthy. It's never been this long. And I'm able to like dye it and dye it pink, and for it to still stay healthy, I'm pretty happy. I also used to like religiously wear hair extensions, and I haven't worn them in like over a year, and I feel so good just like not have them in. So I guess a little embarrassing. I don't really have a hair care routine other than washing my hair and putting some oil in it once in a while. Did you notice your supply dip when you were pregnant with Rhys? And I do feel like it never dipped. I feel like Rhys, while I was pregnant, kind of slowed down breastfeeding a lot. And so my milk supply just kept up with his demand. Again, at that point, he was only nursing on my left side. I was not producing any milk on my right. So I don't notice it ever dipping. The only time that I was worried about it dipping was in my first trimester with Linnea. Never been so sick in my life. I puked multiple times a day. I couldn't knock it out of bed. Like, it knocked me on my ass. My pregnancies were totally different. But yeah, I don't know. I was nervous that because I was so sick and I wasn't hungry and I wasn't eating all my calories and drinking all the water and doing all the things that I would normally do, that my supply might have dipped, but didn't, and it was totally fine. So I know that's a big fear of people's. Mamas, when they get pregnant, they worry about their milk, and like, it's a fair thing, but the biggest thing I've learned is worrying doesn't do anything but make things worse. So just do all the things you need to be doing and let go of the worry and just like go with the flow. The best thing to do for your milk supply is to just nurse on demand. Anytime your baby wants the boob, give them the boob, and your body will like know what's going on. So I hope that answers your question. Ride or die Saint product. You guys know I use my Saint makeup. I feel so slouched down on my couch. I would have to say my ride or die Saint product would be Bella Bronzer. You can use it in so many ways. Bronzer, lip liner, eyeshadow. It's can literally tan your whole body. It's a perfect bronzy bronzer, and I reach for it every single day. So that would be my answer to that. Does Rhys wake in the night when Linnea nurses or cries? So recently, actually, Rhys has been, I nurse him to bed in our bed, and then my husband will bring him into his toddler bed. And usually he'd like come in around 1, 2 a.m. For the last week and a half, he has been staying in his bed till about 5:30 a.m. But at the beginning, to answer that question, no. Rhys sleeps very heavy once he's asleep. It was actually the other way around, where there was a period when Rhys just wanted to breastfeed like 8 times in the night once Linnea was already here, and he would wake up Linnea. So it was actually the other way around. But again, very rarely, very rarely. Do you believe consistency is key when it comes to becoming successful on Instagram? Absolutely. Yes, consistency is everything. Your audience wants to know that they can expect you to show up, and they are like waiting to see your stuff. And once you get on a little bit of a schedule, they know when you're going to be showing up. You know, if you're posting stories throughout the day, they're going to be checking them. If you're posting a reel a day, they might go to your page and check that out. And that's not to say that consistency needs to be every single day or every multiple times a day. Find what works for you and stick to that. But I absolutely think that being consistent and just building that relationship with your audience is the #1 thing that will help you become more successful on Instagram and just being your real authentic self. Once I let go of, you know, worrying about what other people might think of me, and I just started showing up as me, that is when things started to take off for me, mixed with the consistency. So to answer your question, yes, I do think so. How do you get it all done? Again, social media doesn't show everything, okay? I have worked very hard over the last year to get into a routine that works for me and my family, where again, I have hired help. I am not trying to hide that. I have hired help with my babies and hired help with assistant duties. So if you're comparing yourself to me thinking I'm doing all this, all the videos, all the editing, all the reels, all the cleaning, all the cooking, all the motherhood, all the breastfeeding, like it's not all me. I do get help, and I don't do it all. Like, please do not. Like, I have my days where, you know, I'm not motivated, and then I have my days where I'm like running like a chicken with my head cut off, getting a bunch of stuff done, and that's just what works for me. So you're doing amazing. Don't compare yourself to anyone on the internet. But I don't get it all done all the time. Okay, but I do try. I do try. Also, I have a job that like I'm really motivated to show up to, and I feel like that makes a really big difference in me getting the things done that I want to do, because A, I'm like passionate and I want to show up, and B, it's like, it's fun for me. It's something that I enjoy doing. So, you know, it's not like a chore, where I feel like if it's a chore, it's just something naturally that you try to put off, where I am literally like in bed at night, excited to wake up and start doing the things tomorrow. So that helps a little bit, but definitely don't do all the things by myself. Did you have breastfeeding struggles when you first started? You seem like such a pro. Yes, yes, I briefly touched on that, but abso-frickin-lutely I did. I feel like me having my C-section kind of put a damper on the beginning of my breastfeeding journey, because my son was separated from me after my C-section, and I know that is completely awful and wrong, and when I talk about that on my Instagram, so many of you are like, pardon me, like you got separated from your baby after a C-section? And yes, I did. It is just a protocol rule. The hospital that I delivered my son at, and again, I didn't know what was happening. I was in labor, I was exhausted. I didn't like advocate and fight to be with my baby. I just listened to the doctors and the nurses when they took him away from me. And I know that it is so important to start breastfeeding within 45 minutes of delivering your baby. And I think I was around the 1.5 hour mark. And I know that's not long, but it is long when you just had your child and then you can't snuggle it and do the things that your instincts are telling you that you just want to be close to them and do skin to skin and breastfeed, and I didn't get that chance. And so I really think that did put a damper and made it really hard for me to breastfeed at the beginning. Also, I did my research. I took a lactation class. I was reading, I was watching YouTube, like I thought that I knew what to expect, but you really don't until you're in it. Added on top of just learning how to breastfeed, you are exhausted. You are being a new mom. If whether you're bleeding or you're cut open, you're healing in some aspect, and it's a lot. It is a lot. And so yes, I struggled. And I know I just said that my C-section kind of put a damper on my breastfeeding journey, but it was also a little bit of a blessing in my healing, because I had to stay in the hospital for about 3 days after my C-section, and there was a lactation consultant there helping me every step of the way, that was checking on me, that was getting me to pump, to get my milk to come in, who was helping me latch, and you know, things that like I just didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. My husband didn't know what I was doing, and we were just surrounded by so many people who chose to formula feed or had to formula feed or whatever. And so I feel like, you know, even from my husband's side, he was at that point when I was struggling and he could see me like upset and just exhausted. He was like, dude, like there's a very easy solution to this. Like, let's just get him on a bottle. But I just didn't want to. I knew that I could do it. I just knew that I needed help and I needed guidance. And I knew that once I pushed through that it would be worth it. And it was 100% worth it. It is probably my biggest accomplishment, breastfeeding, because of how hard it was. And I am so proud that we continued and of our journey right now. Like there's been so many ups and downs with teething and just like, you know, going through growth spurts, and Rhys, like, you know, I felt like I couldn't be away from Rhys because I was exclusively breastfeeding, and then now to like tandem breastfeeding. It's just been a beautiful, very hard journey that I'm so proud of. So yes, I know that you could come to my page and it looks like I'm a pro, but you need to know, as natural as breastfeeding is, for me, it was not natural at the beginning. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I needed all the help in the world. And the two people that I really had to thank in the very beginning was, well, my mom, because she breastfed all 4 of us. And even though that was years and years ago, like she just gave me this hope that I would be able to do it. And my doula. After I had my baby, my doula came over and checked on me, and she knew that I was not sleeping, and she was like, oh girl, like, let me help you lie down and breastfeed your baby. I'm like, lie down? She's like, yeah, then you'll be able to close your eyes. I'm like, close my eyes? Like, it was all these things I didn't know, and she literally showed me how to lay down and breastfeed my son and close my eyes and get a little bit of rest. And that is what saved me, because when you're not sleeping, like, you're not the same person. And so, yes, I struggled at the beginning of my breastfeeding journey. What is your favorite stores to shop at? Well, this dress I'm wearing right now, I'll show it to you. It is like connected right here, little slip, and it's super long. This is from Revolve, which I have been finding myself shopping at more and more. 1, the quality is always great. 2, the reviews are always bang on with like sizing and things like that. 3, it literally arrives at my doorstep within 2 days. So Revolve, I know, has like a lot of big brand names. It isn't the cheapest place, but I know what I'm getting every time I order from there. So I love Revolve. I also love Free People. I also love Urban Outfitters. I love Ari, great for jeans. And bathing suits, I love Imagine Perry. If you guys are following me over on Instagram, you might have seen some sneak peeks. We are linking up and creating something together that I'm so excited about. You guys are going to freaking love it. You're just gonna feel like your most confident self in this thing that I'm creating with them. So keep your eyes out on that. But yeah, that's like a handful of my favorite shops. Would you ever do a fitness challenge again? Did the bikini competition ruin your experience? I would never do a fitness competition again. I was like, how do I say this nicely? I wouldn't. For me, I'm not speaking on the whole fitness industry and the bikini competition world, but for me personally, it was very unhealthy, not just for my body, but for my mind. And I have a very go all in or nothing type personality. And when I put my heart and soul into something, like that's what's happening. So, came to dieting and, you know, trying to get first place on stage using my body, I went to extremes, and it really changed my relationship with other people, because I would not do certain things, like go to functions where there was dessert and food. And if something got in the way of when I was gonna go to the gym, I would say no to like something that I would actually want to go to because I felt like I had to work out that day because maybe I ate like a couple more calories, and it really just took over my life. And taking care of my body became something that I obsessed about and not something that I wanted to do. It was something that I felt like I had to do so that I could place first in a bikini competition. It didn't come from a place of love. It came from a place of negative thoughts, honestly. Like I would tear myself down, and that is what would motivate me to get on stage or to get on the treadmill and lose weight. It wasn't because I loved the body I was in. It was because I wanted to change my body so that other people loved me. And so the time I did that I was also just like very fragile, just broke up with my first time love, who I thought we were gonna be together forever. And, you know, I felt like that if I did these extreme things, he would love me for my body and we would like back together. It was like this really toxic circle. So no, it doesn't really bring me positive memories. I know there is a healthy way, you know, to be fit, and I enjoy now fitness and like eating healthy so much more because it's coming from a place of love and not feeling like I have to change the way that I look in order to be loved by other people. So to answer your question, I would never do another bikini competition. How did you stop comparing your new postpartum body to your old self? It is my biggest struggle. My number one tip for this, if you are struggling with like looking back at your old body that you used to have before you had kids, or even just like life happening and your body's changing, first of all, to just know that your body is meant to change, your body is meant to evolve, your body is meant to grow, and if you just allow it to, it can be like such a beautiful thing. But I know, especially in the society that we live in and just the way we were brought up, it's hard. Like there is a standard that you think you need to meet, and once you just let go of that and know that you are beautiful and perfect in your own skin and you are allowed to exist in the way that you look just right now, and to, you know, own that, that really helps. But also for me especially, it is to think back about how you felt in the moments that you are longing to look like that. So if I have like a Facebook memory pop up and it's like 8 years ago today and I'm like 101 pounds on stage in my bikini, like for 1 second I might be like, damn, like I look good. I wish I could have abs again, or I wish I could be 101 pounds again. But then I stop and I think of what happened that day, how I felt, who I was surrounded with, what I wanted, what did that girl want? And every time I do that, it just stops me in my tracks, because all that girl ever wanted was to be happy, was to be a mom, was to have a loving husband who loved me for who I am, and to not feel like I have to change in order to be worthy of love, to have a house, to have a job that I wake up and I enjoy. And that is literally what I have right now. And so it's crazy that you always like want what you don't have, and you know, a Facebook memory or looking back at a photo could be so triggering. But for me, that really helped, is to just stop and think who you were in that time, who were you talking to, what were your thoughts like. And most of the time I bet that you're actually gonna find yourself feeling super grateful. And that's another tip of mine, is to just find things you're grateful for every single day in this moment. It doesn't need to be your body, but it does just help with your confidence overall. So that's my tip for that. Do you want more kiddos? Yes. Yes, I do. That's my husband. No. But that's okay. Is he home yet? Oh, he'll be home any minute, and then we're gonna go on our date. I'm so excited. My husband's very content with 2 kids. He just thinks that we hit the jackpot. We have a beautiful family, a perfect little son, and a beautiful girl. What more do we need? And for me, I'm just like, we just need more of those things. Because I just have always wanted a big, happy family. I want to be 50 years old and to call all of my daughters and sons just to see what they're up to that weekend, and that just brings me so much joy. So I'm hoping that I can convince him to have at least 1 more. We also just moved into a house that only has 3 bedrooms, and there's, you know, 2 kids and us, so no rooms more. But who says you can't share a room, or who says I can't build a bigger house, right? But yes, we want more kids. I want more kids. Ah! What the f? You scared me. I literally just looked over and I didn't see your truck. You scared me.
What are you doing, filming?
Yes, I'm working.
Did I interrupt your video?
Yeah, and you scared the out of me.
Sorry for walking into my house. Apologies.
You didn't have to do it so creepily.
I didn't. I walked in like I always do.
Okay, let's try that again now that my husband scared the freaking living crap out of me. Okay, was your second pregnancy different from your first? Please tell me how. Love you. Day and night different. Like when I say day and night, I mean completely different. My son, well, he wasn't actually my first pregnancy. We got pregnant the month after our wedding and we ended up miscarrying. And then I waited one cycle, got pregnant with Rhys in December of 2018 and he was born September 1st, 2019. So my pregnancy with Rhys was amazing. I felt good. I felt like I could function. I got a little bit of morning sickness and I thought that it was bad at the time. It was not. I was able to work throughout my pregnancy and I felt good all around. I had high energy and I was happy and my skin was glowing and I just felt great. Linnea. So I will say Linnea took us 8 months of trying, which was different because I had gotten pregnant both times that we tried prior. And when I became pregnant with Linnea, I had no idea how difficult it was gonna be. I was sick almost every single day. I was tired, I could not function, I was moody. I remember on my birthday, like I just cried all day. I was very hormonal and yes, they were very good.